She whispered, "I destroyed your life." So I handed her divorce papers, exposed her affair to her mom, and blocked her after her ex dumped her too. I'm 34, and 3 years ago, I thought I married the love of my life. Our first year was something I used to call perfect. Late-night talks that felt like they could go on forever. Silly jokes in the kitchen while we cooked dinner. She made me feel like I'd found my person. I used to look at her and feel peace, like no matter what life threw at me, I'd be okay, because she was beside me. I worked hard, and I gave her everything I could. I didn't just provide, I went above and beyond. Nearly $5,000 every month, vacations, luxury brands, home comforts. Not because she asked for it directly, but because I thought that's what people do when they love someone. You take care of them, you give them security, and you try to build something lasting. But about 6 months ago, I started noticing small shifts. At first, I chalked it up to stress or routine fatigue. She'd come home later than usual. She stopped laughing at my dumb jokes. The phone that once lay openly on the couch was suddenly always face down, or clutched in her hand. Mood swings got sharper. When I asked where she'd been, the answers were either vague or defensive. Out. Why are you so controlling? I'm not doing anything wrong. You hear that enough times, you almost start believing maybe you are imagining things. But I wasn't. One night, I couldn't sleep. She was out again, said she was meeting an old friend. I checked her location, something I never did before, and it said she was at a part of town I knew too well. Her ex lived there. It took everything in me not to jump in the car. Instead, I waited. She walked in just after midnight, said nothing, went straight to the shower. That was the moment it all clicked. The coldness, the distance, the random fights. She was back with him. The same guy who dumped her brutally before we even met. I didn't confront her that night. I didn't scream. I didn't rage. I just sat there, feeling more alone in that moment than I'd ever felt in my life. And she was right in the next room. The betrayal wasn't just physical. It was emotional. I realized I had become the backup plan, the safe harbor, the man funding her lifestyle while she gave her heart and body to someone else. I started collecting proof, not out of pettiness, but clarity. Messages, pictures, call logs. I saw enough to confirm everything. It wasn't a one-time mistake. It was ongoing, and she didn't even try to hide it anymore. Maybe she thought I was too soft, too in love, too forgiving to ever walk away. She was wrong. A few nights later, I made dinner. Nothing fancy, just pasta and garlic bread. We barely spoke. She scrolled on her phone the whole time. When she finally looked up, I slid a manila envelope across the table. Inside, divorce papers. She stared at it like she didn't recognize the language. Then she said something I'll never forget. "I destroyed your life." Not "I'm sorry." Not "can we talk." Not even denial. Just that, like she was narrating it from the outside. Shocked, I had found my spine. I said nothing at first. I just watched her process it. She whispered, "You don't really mean this." "I do." I replied, steady and calm. "I loved you. I gave you everything. And you chose him. That's your decision. But now I'm making mine." She stood up slowly, picked up her purse, and walked out. No apology. But the story didn't end there. About an hour after she left that night, I was still sitting at the kitchen table, staring at the half-eaten pasta, trying to process everything. My hands weren't shaking. I wasn't crying. I wasn't even angry anymore. I just felt done, completely emotionally emptied. Then the doorbell rang. It was nearly midnight. I wasn't expecting anyone. I opened the door to find her mother standing there, fuming. She didn't even wait for me to say hello. She stormed into my house like she owned the place. Her face was flushed with anger, her voice raised before I could say a word. "How could you do this to her?" she shouted. "Divorce papers? Are you out of your mind?" I stood there silently, letting her vent. "She's your wife. She's been with you through everything. And now you're throwing her out like garbage? You have no proof. You don't just ruin someone's life like that on a whim." I could have shouted back. I could have asked her where she was when her daughter was sneaking around behind my back. But instead, I stayed calm. I walked to the living room, pulled out a folder I had tucked into the drawer beneath the TV stand, and handed it to her. Inside were screenshots, flirty messages, pictures she had sent him, a few explicit, dates, times, all of it carefully organized. Not because I wanted revenge, but because I knew this moment would come. The mother's face changed as she flipped through the pages. Her lips parted slightly, her fingers slowed down. She paused at a photo of her daughter, dressed in lingerie, sending a mirror selfie with a caption that said, "Bet you never forgot this." She looked up at me, unsure what to say. This can't be real," she muttered. "It is," I said. "It's been going on for months. She's been lying to me, using my money, my home, my love, while giving herself to someone who already walked away from her once." Still, she tried to defend her. "My daughter is not like this. Maybe it was just flirting. Maybe they didn't." I cut her off. "I know what you want to believe," I said, voice steady. But your daughter didn't just flirt. She went all the way. Emotionally, physically, and consistently. There was silence. She didn't argue after that. She just looked at me, not with apology, not with compassion, but with confusion. Like I'd broken some unspoken rule by not letting her daughter get away with it. I took a breath and said, whether you believe it or not isn't my problem. She made her choices. I'm just choosing not to be part of them anymore. She finally stepped back, almost like she had lost her footing. I think you should leave now, I added, opening the door again. She didn't fight. She left, shaking her head, muttering something about not knowing who to believe anymore. I closed the door and locked it, not because I felt threatened, but because I needed closure. A line had been drawn, and I wasn't going to cross back over it. Not for her, not for her family, not for anyone. I didn't hear anything for a few hours. Just silence. And for the first time in a long while, that silence didn't feel heavy. It felt like space to breathe. But the night wasn't over yet. At around 2 a.m., my phone buzzed. Her name lit up on the screen. Around 2 a.m., my phone lit up. Her name. I didn't pick it up immediately. I let it ring. Once. Twice. Voicemail. Then again. 3 more times. I finally answered. Her voice was soft, barely above a whisper. Not angry this time. Not defensive. It was different. I messed up, she said. I stayed quiet. I did a very wrong thing. I feel guilty, she continued. Please don't leave me. I really love you. Love? That word hit me like a bad joke. I leaned back in the chair, staring at the ceiling while she spoke. She kept saying all the things I thought I wanted to hear months ago. How she missed me. How I always treated her better than anyone. How she couldn't believe I had the strength to leave. But I wasn't falling for it. I knew exactly what had happened. He used her again, just like he did the first time. Got what he wanted, then ghosted her. And now, when she realized she had no one left, she remembered I existed. I was never her first choice. I was the safety net, the fallback plan, the loyal husband who'd pick up the pieces after her impulsive choices blew up in her face. And now that she was standing in the wreckage, alone, now she wanted to come home. I know I hurt you, she said, voice cracking slightly. But I swear it didn't mean anything. It was a mistake. I thought I still loved him, but it wasn't real. He just used me. Please don't hang up. I need you. I waited for a few seconds, took a breath. Then I said, you knew what you were doing every time you texted him. Every time you lied to my face. Every night you snuck around behind my back. That wasn't a mistake. That was a decision. She tried to interrupt, but I didn't let her. I was never good enough for you when you thought you had someone better. But now that he's done with you, you're back to the one who paid your bills, gave you a home, and treated you with respect. That's not love. That's convenience. Silence. I could hear her breathing on the other end. Maybe crying. Maybe just stunned I didn't cave. For the first time, she couldn't control the narrative. I'm not angry, I continued. But I'm not stupid either. You made your choice. Now you live with it. I'm done. She muttered something. Maybe, I'm sorry. Maybe, please. I honestly couldn't tell. I hung up. That was it. No long goodbye. No drawn out back and forth. Just the end of a story I didn't want to be part of anymore. The next morning, she sent a few messages. Long ones. Saying she understood. Saying she hated herself for what she did. Telling me she'd do anything to fix it. I never replied. It's been months now. I've blocked her number. Moved on. I'm not interested in revenge. I don't wish her pain. But I won't be the man who saves someone who is ready to destroy me just for the thrill of something familiar. Sometimes, karma doesn't need our help. It handles things on its own. She thought I'd always be there. That no matter what she did, I'd be too kind, too loyal, too hopeful to ever leave. But I did. And I never looked back.